some point she was dealing with something with the Joker, and even Batman came to her and says, "We all have bad days." Like there was a sympathy, in him. And here it's like he's very sympathetic and he has a lot of heart in it. So, but every time I hear the Bruce Wayne in this story and the Batman, I feel like he's much larger. Like his voice,
Yes,
I
yes.
feel like he's much bigger
He sounds a
than his
little
eyes.
bit
I
older
imagine him
though.
huge.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He does sound larger and he sounds a little bit older like he has because he has like he gives that he has a lot of forensics in his talk. And he's so
Yeah.
calm about things. And it was interesting listening to the first episode when he was getting attacked and then talking on the phone was so serious. I felt like I was there, man. They really do make it
Yeah.
feel like you're there,
The
and
scene
I'm
when
walking down the street.
when they're cutting down the body and you hear like the slab skin
Yeah,
slapping,
yeah.
and it was like, it was like, man, it's almost disgusting, but that's like it's perfectly accurate, like how you would see like meat smacking on certain counters and stuff like that. So I was like, that is crazy.
Yeah, the voice and the what's it called? The folly. I forgot what it's called in film, but it's also done here. But anyways, it's been a while since we started talking again, doing the podcast. I think it's been like a month or so, maybe 3 weeks. I don't remember.
We were we I think it was Doctor Strange with
Doctor
that.
Strange Multiverse.
I believe we came in that I saw it.
No, we saw it together. We saw it that
Yeah, we
Thursday
saw
that
it
came out.
together, but it
We
was
ended
that
up talking
Thursday,
about
and then we started talking about it on that Sunday or Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Saturday, yeah.
It was a really good movie. A lot of people still are like iffy about it because of what happened, the deaths and all that stuff. But now there's been talks about who should direct the Fantastic Four movie, and a lot of people are saying, um, John Krasinski. What do you feel about that?
They did say John Krasinski. There was also talk about this girl. Why she's done Mandalorian. Uh,
Bryce.
Bryce Dallas Howard
Yes.
about directing it, which I would probably give it to her because she's done so good on Mandalorian. She's made her way up there to direct.
Yeah, and
I don't know about directing something as big as the Fantastic Four, but if there's so much high praise about her directing the Mandalorian, I think they should give her that. I
there
would like
was
to see a woman helm that.
there was a lot of moments in that episode where they just knew how to hit every single note and just really made Star Wars fans like emotional of seeing, two big icons, one coming from a cartoon and another watching the sequels technically, yeah, sequels in the 70s and 80s, and just at that point and just of them talking and interacting, it was just so lovely, and it was also peaceful. They weren't, in mid battle or anything like that, and for him to train and start becoming, a master Jedi, and I think was it Grogu that was his first apprentice or
Yeah,
his first Padawan? I mean,
it was his first Padawan. Yes.
so I mean it was just so lovely watching that. So I mean, I think there's some really good emotional uh, uh, scenes where I think we could see that with the Fantastic Four that she could possibly bring to the table. There's also scenes where my I don't know. She didn't direct the episode of that really bad chase in Boba Fett, did she? Remember
Not sure.
that chase in the in
When they're getting when Grogu finally goes and it reveals that Grogu's no.
no, it wasn't that one. There was a chase in Boba Fett, and it was the guys, it was the people that like put technology into the body and stuff like that. No, you don't remember. And they were in that stupid little moped that like was like 5 miles an hour.
No, I
It's
to
so
be honest,
forgettable,
dude,
but it was so bad.
no, no, no. To be honest, I'm guilty of not watching a lot of the Star Wars stuff, and I've been thinking about going into ever since watching, which will we get into in a few minutes, episode by episode for the Obi-Wan. We I want to get into it. Ever since I started watching Obi-Wan again, I was like, I really want to get into watching it, even as cringy as the first episode of Star Wars is. I want to get through it so I could start watching the series like through and through. Because I
I
feel
don't.
like
Go ahead.
there's a lot of things there that I don't know. It's like I want to get into the lore. I want to get into that universe and just really like I want to be that nerd to know like no it's Dagobah. What are you talking about? Like I want to be able to like get into it.
Oh yeah, I mean we should get into it since we're talking about Star Wars and stuff like that. But yeah, I think Bryce Dallas Howard would definitely be a really good director. There was also talks of her being casted as Sue Storm, so I don't know. There was just rumors about it right now.
Yeah, even they talked about John Krasinski since his directorial debut for The Quiet Place. Um, I know it's like jumping from doing horror and then jumping into doing a Marvel movie. But then again, we've seen Sam Raimi do horror and do Spider-Man pretty well. So it's like it's not far-fetched for somebody who does horror to jump into doing something action-packed and pull it off. So let's
I
see.
think,
Let's see
yeah,
what
I
happens.
really think he could do it. And so can Bryce. So I could see I could see both directors, you know, working. I think working together would be really good too.
Yeah. And to be
If she does
honest,
get casted, yeah.
in my opinion, I know they won't get this person because of the Star Trek series that he did and the way J.J. Abrams attacks sci-fi. I would have loved to see J.J. Abrams take on Fantastic Four.
I
I don't know, just to have that because he's done so many like flashy galaxy type feel to it, atmosphere. It has always been he's always attacked science based shows and things like that about the weird and the fantastical and all that stuff. So it'll be like really cool to even see J.J. Abrams. Even the flares would be kind of crazy just to see in the Fantastic Four to add that sort of effect and a different atmosphere to the MCU shows, the MCU movies. Because I think the only one that I felt like was very different from all the rest would probably be the Eternals. It didn't
yeah.
feel like it was filmed by a person that does MCU films. Everything felt like Eternals felt very differently in the way they took that in.
I think it was Chloe. I don't remember her last name, but yeah, she directed that, and it felt completely different than what we see of action packed and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But yeah, I do agree with you. Maybe J.J. Abrams. I really haven't seen his Star Trek. I've never seen Star Trek. I know there's a lot of Star Trek fans out there, but I haven't seen that stuff.
check it
But I
out
do
because
know
I
what you're talking
remember.
about with the lights and all that stuff. I did see some couple. I did,
Yeah,
yeah, a couple scenes of that. But yeah, let's. You know what? We're talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we're talking about Superman Lois because it's been on hiatus and it just came back this week.
I missed the recent last episode. I saw clips, but I got to see the episode where um he finally he reveals
Oh,
to
yeah,
Lana
yeah.
that very end though. I saw the whole episode, but it's that episode that I saw. I didn't get to see the one that comes after it when she kind of from the
In
clips that I saw she kind of pissed off about like not being told. Which is kind of like, come on, woman. I think they're just writing drama into it
Nah,
just to
you
have it. I
gotta.
think it was not her.
I think. Okay, this is my thing about that episode because I guess we're talking about Superman Lois first. But with this episode of this last episode that just came out, her getting mad, not at Clark really, a little bit, but mostly at
Yeah.
Lois because she explains that she came to Smallville right after Metropolis, and they became really good friends. And she's been so close with Clark and the family, and they've been so close together like that. And Lois, I didn't understand it, but the best way to understand it was when Lois told Clark it's women holding each other by higher standard than men. And it just makes sense because for guys, we would just like brush it off. But for girls, it's like you could have, you should be telling me this. You should, guys just be like, all right, man, whatever. So what's next? You know what I mean? But you really
Yeah.
should have, you know, in the back of our
Yeah,
heads. We
no, and I got to see the scene where he actually apologizes to her and said that she never really had a friend, so she didn't know how to handle the situation, or just to completely flat out tell her
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh, my husband is Superman, and this is this and that," which is very difficult because she was in Metropolis. She stuck to her family. She really didn't have any friends, and just when she got close to Lana, I would understand that. But I'm glad that she apologized and she was like, "What do you want to know?" and
yeah,
do whatever you want with it.
yeah. Yeah.
Which is
Um,
kind of ballsy because what if Lana goes out there and just starts telling everybody about it? Like, yeah,
uh,
she's living with us, like, but I know she's not because she could have done it a long time ago as soon as Clark would have revealed it to her. But, like, it's like, what do you want to know?
I really
And do
thought she
what
was
you
gonna
wish.
figure it out because in that episode. So let's talk about it. So this season, we really explore more of the multiverse, and we've been going to. We actually go to the bizarre world, and it's really cool because you get to see the polar opposites and the
Before I start,
relationships and all that
let me
stuff.
stop you there. You could keep going 1 second. But I love the fact that they actually made the planet square.
Yes, I did like that too. I
I was
was
like,
like, "Ah, that's
"Yeah,
perfect. That's
they
great."
did that."
Yeah, um, and yeah, so we get to see relationships be different, even the family. So Lois and Superman are still together, but his relationship with his brother, it's great. And his brother's married to Lana in that world, which is pretty crazy. And then Jordan doesn't have powers, but Jonathan does, and then Jonathan becomes basically Superboy, and he has that
Yeah, he
'90s
was,
look, which has a little bit of emo vibes because of the freaking what's it called,
yeah, eyeliner and stuff.
eyeliner and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah, but I mean, I didn't mind it. I kind of did. I digged his S because I think it was like a little bloody or something like that.
yeah,
Um, but I really did. I was like, okay, nice touch. I like the references that we're getting. And then you see the dynamic
love to
between
see
his
him do like the camera
oh
view from the back and him do that
oh
that
yeah,
sign.
yeah.
Yeah, he was doing that gangster blood sign,
I
which
I
was
don't
kind
like
of like,
that. I was
that was a
like,
little too much.
that
But
was
it's but he did embody a bit of that Superboy vibe from the beginning, like the first when he first appears into the like Death of Superman,
spotlight.
Return of
Yeah,
Superman series.
yeah, yeah. He comes into that spotlight, and everybody knows who Clark, or I guess not Clark, but Superman and Lois and his family is, and become celebrities. Kind of reminded me
Yeah,
of The Boys, which I just saw the first 3 episodes today. Now,
haven't seen it yet is
okay,
because when I get the chance to on my own.
it is bloody, and this it, it's a little bit slow. It starts a little bit slow, but it picks up, and gets a lot of blood, a lot of blood. So get ready.
Yeah, I got
Um,
I got to see some clips. I wanted to see how Jensen Ackles plays Soldier Boy. And I'm not used to him playing a jerk. Uh
yeah,
so it in some moments it kind of threw me off because I've seen Supernatural to the very end of the entire show. So he's always played the hero and there's moments that he does become a jerk in the show. but it's like you can't help but love his character. He was well, it was the way they when they wrote Supernatural was more like Han Solo and Luke Skywalker type thing,
Yeah.
where Harrison Ford was always kind of like, you know, like very hardcore and things like that, and Luke was more timid and always like kept to himself and stuff. But that's how. But Jensen Ackles, I that's what I wanted. I want to see it definitely because as like because Kripke, who did The Boys, what was the one who created the show Supernatural. So
Mm.
when Jensen Ackles was like going in, hey, is there any role that I could play? And Eric Kripke was like, yeah, there's something, but you have to do it from the very like it's not like I'm gonna take you in and be like, you play this character. You're gonna have to, audition. So the way he auditioned was with his wife. So he was like, he had the lines for Soldier Boy. And so the scene that he is, I think he's with Butcher. So he just ended up getting dialogue from the show in order to sort of like have his wife play the play and rewind, fast forward thing. So to do the dialogue. And from there, it's like, all right, we're giving you the role for Soldier Boy, which is funny because in the past, there was talk that Jensen Ackles was in the running to play Captain America.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
now he's pretty much almost like a Captain America, but not very America-ish.
No, no. Very douchey,
Technically,
very
the way we see America now, he's very America now. Not very
Yeah,
not
yeah,
very
yeah.
nice.
I could say that. Yeah, you could definitely say that. Um yeah, but the show is really good. I really am starting I understand now why people don't like Huey in this show because he kind of he gives off a lot of Eric Foreman vibes because watching that 70s show, you just think, Eric, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Like that episode when he tells Red, "No, I did it. It was my weed, uh, or my stash," but Donna came forward or something like that beforehand, and he's like, "For the love of God, don't." But then he does it, and it's like, why? Just listen. Just wait, man. Oh, there's a lot of moments where you're just like, this
Yeah,
fucking
no,
guy,
see,
bro.
the thing is that they're trying to pretty much destroy these these so-called heroes that are pretty much villains. And
Yeah.
Huey's always trying to like, we can't do this. I mean, even when his girlfriend got killed, it was almost like he wasn't gonna do anything about it. Even when he had the help or a way to try to eliminate them, it was he was still backing up. And I was like, I'm sorry, but if that situation happened to me, I'm gonna go to the people who wants to kill them. I'm not gonna be nah, I'm not gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna do this and stuff like that. I'm gonna go with with that. I'm going with Butcher. We're
Yeah.
figuring this
We're figuring this shit
because
out.
it's like we
That's
can't
it.
have heroes that everybody respects, and on the downside, they just murder and kill people on an airplane, just drop people from buildings, and just do very, very bad things. So I was like, and Huey is like, he's too nice.
The guy that plays Homelander, I forgot his name. You know him?
Tony, is it Tony Starr? Tony Starr, Anthony Starr.
Anthony Starr, bro. When you thought he was cynical in the first season and second, damn, this guy just like it gets a little it gets a little intense, bro. I'm not gonna lie, it gets a little intense.
Yeah,
And some
the
good
funny thing is
topics.
that I stumble upon like one of the there was a comic. I think I stumbled upon something on YouTube like one of the most scariest characters in the boys, and they mentioned this guy from which they kind of made remember the woman who had the baby and then she killed and Homelander killed her in her house when Butcher was there, and Butcher had her handcuffed and everything. Like he had her leverage. It was like
I'm
I think it was the first
trying.
season.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, but keep going.
She used to pretty much breastfeed Homelander.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Well, her character was supposed in from the in the comic book. It was a male character, but they turned it into a female character in The Boys, but they eliminated her. So they brought Esposito, the guy who was in Breaking Bad and also in The Mandalorian, to portray that character,
Mm.
but under another name. But
Mhm.
it's that character, and he's the only one in the comic books that's ever gone face to face with Homelander and never was afraid and always put him in his place. And he did a lot of grimy stuff in order to sort of get his way.
Oh, we're seeing
So it's
that.
like even
Mhm.
Homelander has stepped up with a whole bunch of heroes, and he will be looking at them like, "What do you got?" And I'm hoping that they keep bringing him in if he pops up because I don't know, I love that dude.
I
I
love that
I'm
dude, dude.
waiting to see where MCU brings him in because he's
Yeah,
such a
yeah.
good actor.
You know,
Oh
he
my god.
could be great. He could have been great as freaking Lex Luthor. He could have been
Yeah.
great. It's just so he's so tactical. He's so genius. But to see him fail for against the Man of Steel would have been cool. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we could see him as a Vandal Savage. That would be
You know
amazing.
what would no, I think if they tackled this well, just thinking about it now, if they brought Esposito's the actor, him being African American and all, and black, to portray Lex Luthor and have his story like he came from nothing and he did everything to get in the position that he's in. Also being a black person and trying to one up everybody, even the Caucasians and white people. And then being up there and then all of a sudden we get Superman who embodies, he's the hero and he's up there. He's looking down at everybody, something that Lex Luthor, why he always had tall buildings is to look down at everyone in some way. He felt higher up. And there was, if you, I remember watching Necessary Evil, the documentary, and seeing Lex Luthor talk. They talking about Lex Luthor as like he came from something and he's done everything for his community and all the people of Metropolis, and he always lived in tall buildings just to look down at people because he felt he was higher up than everybody else. And then here comes this man who's towering over him. So to look at that through the perspective of like an African American trying to succeed, trying to be one up everybody and trying to do great and then become like the higher up than everybody.
Yeah, that would be
And then
great.
have Superman be up there and be like looking at down at him. I mean, I don't know. They will probably bring somebody out there will probably bring race into the picture. Him,
That would
Superman being white in that, unless it was Val Zod
Valzad.
coming into the picture. But it would be great to see that and have him be Lex Luthor because it's he's when he can be a villain, it's very scary. That scene in Mandalorian that I enjoyed was when
He was
Mandalorian fights him and gets the sword.
yeah.
And then he tries to sort of pin the Mandalorian with this girl's character by saying, "Oh, the superstition means the according to the lore, you have to fight him in order to get the weapon." And he's trying to instigate the whole thing. And it's out evil. It's all
It's just
Oh my
so
god, even if he's Mephisto throughout it, that would be freaking fantastic. Just to see him sit on his chair and
oh
just
my
talk to him
god.
like in that voice that he does, that almost like it's very like it's a
It's
very
so
scary dude.
intimidating and just so perfect. I forgot what video game he was on. I think it was like Far Cry 4, Far
Yeah, it
Cry
was Far
5.
Cry with that little
Yeah.
kid. He was on the cover.
Yeah, yeah, and then I don't know if you ever seen The Get Down. I fucking love The Get Down. You ever seen that on Netflix?
No.
You gotta watch that, bro. He plays a pastor, and this guy is one son of a bitch. He has that old school generation, and he has a daughter, and he's a pastor, and you could just think of how cynical he gets in that role, bro. It's so diabolical. It's just so good. That acting is just so. His acting is
Okay, so
just
where
great.
where where are we at? We were talking about I think we went on the tangent on
We
this
went
one.
on a
We were
tangent
talking
on
about
this one.
Superman. Uh
Oh wait, didn't he play Lex Luthor in All Star Superman?
remember. Now I want to check that out because if he did,
I
he did
think
a.
I know he played Lex
Or was
Luthor.
it
That
Grant? I know. I know James Masterson, who played Spike, played a Lex Luthor. I think in uh I don't know which one. He played a Brainiac. He played Lex Luthor, and then Rainn Wilson also played Lex Luthor at some point. But I don't know if Esposito ever played him.
yeah, he did.
Oh man,
He did play. I know the while I find it, Superman Lois. So Superman. Oh yeah, so Ali Alston, the cult leader, actually does succeed in with her counterpart, and they become one. And now she is pretty much starts with a P. I wrote this. What's the villain? Parasite. Because we see in this week's episode that she does start sucking the life force. I don't mind it. I feel like they're focusing on that, and also the grounded characters a lot, because we're seeing a lot
yeah,
of like cuts and turns with Lana's family, which in the beginning, honestly, I didn't care, but now I'm kind of caring because she's involved now with Superman and Lois, so that's
yeah.
really cool. I see what they're doing with her daughter, which is making her sing a lot now.
I want to see if Lana's gonna tell her daughter about Jordan.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think she's gonna. It's which is a bit hypocritical because she was like, "Yeah, guys, you need to tell me," and it's like, "I'm gonna have to hide this from my daughter and let them do it." It's like,
Yeah.
but then again, it's. I think they're free to kind of. He's free to tell her now. It's not like they're like hiding it now. They're since Lana knows now, he can tell her. But then again, we're also wondering if I don't know. I was thinking of whether Lana feels like, oh, you should stay away from him, or if she feels a certain, or if she will be in danger with him around and things like that. So let's see how. I want to know how Lana is gonna react if they decide to get back together,
Mm,
or or if Jordan ends up telling her. And then she tells Lana, and then Lana said, "Yeah, I knew about that." And then it's like, "You didn't tell me, mom." And then there's the drama there, because
yeah. Yeah.
CW tries to really milk the drama,
They
you
really
know.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did play Ra's al Ghul in the Son of Batman movie.
Mm.
Juan Carlos Esposito, and he did play Lex Luthor, but it wasn't All Star Superman. It was actually the Harley Quinn show,
Eh.
which
That was
I
a
was
waste.
like, no, because he's really good in that, and I love that show. Have you seen that show? Freaking love the plant, by the way.
Uh, no, I haven't seen that show.
Ah, so
Uh,
you're slacking, my guy, because
I am. I am.
Kaylee
I'm
Kuko.
trying to get it. I've been trying to get into some of the old stuff too. What was I watching? I was going into watching Young Justice from the very beginning. I feel like if I get into watching Young Justice now, I feel like at some point I feel like I'm gonna get lost in a lot of the
Yeah.
stuff that in the past.
Yeah, like I
Um,
said before, like season one and season two, there's like that 5 year difference coming into season two. Season three, they really involve a lot of new characters, and they bring out too many characters where the story kind of gets a little bit lost. And
yeah,
I understand why people didn't like it and enjoy it, because again, it was bringing up too many characters and too many stories all at the same time, and it just kept cutting away from the main story.
yeah,
And so season four is a little bit more organized. Still within certain episodes, the story kind of, it's either in the beginning, middle, and ending, really, and then in between all that is like different stories here and there of the back in the background, which, I mean, it doesn't, for some certain characters, it doesn't focus on them really. because it's trying to bring all this, backup storylines.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed it because it hit. I think in season 4, I can't even say the character, but the Green Lantern series is now canon to this Young Justice.
No, I saw it. Again, YouTube has a tendency of always popping stuff up, and I'm like, and the funny thing is, it's not like they're like really
Little
hiding it when they put their little clip thing, like the screen, like
thumbnail,
it's
yeah,
like, oh, great, they brought Razor, and
yeah,
I was like, but it's pretty cool because it's sort of like he was a cool character, and in the very end of that show, because funny, I recently was knowing that he was in Injustice in Young Justice. I ended up going back to that very end and of what happened to Razor at the very end. And that moment at the end when they're having the conversation, he says, "Yeah, he's gonna go, and he lost this girl, and he felt like I need to find. He kind of needs to find himself." And then at the very end, we get to see the Hope ring, the Blue Lantern ring, and it's like it's trying to imply that it's going to him, and then the show ends. Which was kind of sad because the show was really good. I felt like it
really good.
kind of it was a very cool show. The
Different
fact that
animation, yeah.
Young Justice is sort of kind of like trying to finish off his story, because I didn't feel like it was at some point it stops becoming a Hal Jordan story. It becomes more about him, and then he ends up getting in a relationship with the what's her name? I forgot her name.
Aya,
I think it was
Ayla,
Aya. Yes,
Aya, yeah.
Aya. And that was and that was really cool, and I felt like if they would have kept on, it would kind of finish in his journey of becoming this the Blue Lantern, and being trained by this guy, the one that was one of the Blue Lanterns with the head that's all the way to the side.
Yes, I damn it, I forgot his name, but I know exactly who you're talking about. It'll
Yeah.
probably come up later. Razor reminds me of Ahsoka because Ahsoka was brought up in the cartoons. I don't know if Razor was brought up in the comics or it was just made for that series, but
No, she was made for that series, and
no, no,
then she
no,
was
a
again
Razor,
brought in.
Razor.
Oh no, Razor was also it was brought into the show.
Yeah, so
That's
I
what I
don't.
loved about DC. DC has a way of kind of bringing characters, and I can guarantee you, at some point, Razor is going to end up in the comic books at some point and having his own thing. Because I mean, look what happened with Harley Quinn. Look what happened with Terry McGinnis.
Yeah,
We ended up getting characters that were just in a TV show. Static Shock.
Static Shock, man. I mean, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Uh,
his sort of universe was brought into the DC comics. So it's like, who knows if that if he's still popular by then, after Young Justice, I wouldn't be surprised if DC was says, yeah, let's bring him into the comics.
um,
Which is crazy to me. Why we get Green Lantern comics, but we don't get any stories from like the Blue Lanterns, or from any other lanterns.
you know
Like
what's
Green
funny is
Lantern
that
is like a major thing.
they bring that, and they have other lanterns, but they don't. But they end up giving Flash kind of like that Blue Lantern thing that he had for a moment in the comics. It's like let's
I think
explore
that's
it a
what they
bit
should do.
more.
I think they should bring in. I would love to see if they ever do a Blue Lantern series. That would be great to see. Just to have Blue Lantern series happen.
Yeah, you could attach it to other lantern rings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So many cameos in Young Justice though, and I love it because if you know the comics and you know the characters, then you just see the cameos, which is really cool. And there's so many good moments in Young Justice about therapy and mental health. Like that, I think it was season 1 when the characters talked to Dinah, or yeah, Dinah, Black Canary,
Yeah.
and it's like heroes, these sidekicks are going to therapy, like that's acceptable, like that's needed. And then you get that back in like season 2, and then a little bit in season 3, and then season 4 you see, um, kind of like Superman cry. You never see Superman cry. And then you see Black Lightning go into therapy in the end credit scene. I just love the conversations that they have. And then you get to Beast Boy in season 4, and that's where like people loved it, because it's like this man was going through deep depression, losing Brion, not you know physically, but I'm saying like as a brother, he turned to the dark side, and
Yeah.
then losing Superboy, and then going to therapy, and pushing away his friends, becoming an addict, not sleeping well, all that stuff. It's so good. I just love Young Justice for that. And people hate on it, like it's just so stupid. You're not paying
I'll probably
attention.
go, you
You're
know
not
what?
paying
I'll probably
attention to the
go into watch.
lessons.
I'll probably go into just watching it, and I
Oh
probably
man,
won't do remember a lot of the stuff from the previous, but I wanted to just like see if I could just go into it and again. And
this last week's episode, I just had to do videos on it because I was just like, I was. It's not that I was I kind of was mind blown, but I was like, I completely forgot about that, and for them to just amplify that, it's pretty crazy. I love it. I love what they did. I love what they did.
okay. I think
Um,
we stopped going. We stopped. We are not no longer into Superman and Lois. I think we touched on
Everything
all
else.
that's been going on.
Yeah,
Uh,
but Superman Lois, great story, great writing. I think it should. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't get why DC doesn't do a Batman series with this type
Stop right
of
there. Um, did
cinematography.
you see the Gotham Knights trailer?
No.
Please,
Do you?
please, if you did, please
It's so
destroy it.
cringe. I saw
Destroy it and
photos.
just destroy it in one of your videos. Like just annihilate it and burn it. I hope CW and WB hears it. Just hashtag WB, hashtag Hamada, that dude that kept, you know, being racist against Cyborg. And just just WB everything on it. Even WB hashtag Amber Heard. I honestly don't care. Somebody needs to hear how bad Gotham Knights is. That
It's
show is just
such a
terrible.
weird.
It didn't even touch on none of the characters. And to be honest, I'm gonna tell you this. I didn't really see the trailer. You know how YouTube, when you just like swipe down, you could see like the video and it will play, but you'll have to click it in order to see it like full screen to hear it. I was watching the whole thing and no one transformed, no one got into a Nightwing costume, no one got into a Batgirl costume, no one got into another Robin costume. And I felt like, what's going on here? It feels like I'm watching Vampire Diaries. Like they're all in this mansion having a party and nothing. I see a Batarang. It says, oh, it's just telling me it's from the Batman universe. I see the cowl. And then all of a sudden, again, they do him wrong. He's dead. It never fails. They do that to again, which is funny because I was talking to a coworker of mine at the job, and he's a big comic book fan. I mean, humongous. And I was telling him like, why is it that Batman has so many comic books, right? Batman is the ultimate hero, and he should be the mascot to WB and DC Comics. And when it comes to a non-canon storyline, kind of like vampires versus DC versus vampires and deceased, he gets killed. He either turns into a zombie or he turns into a vampire and they murder him. And I was like, it's like they got no love for him for non-canon based stories, which right now he's getting love and in Dark Knights of Steel because, well, it's in the title. But everything else is like he's getting killed. It's like I don't understand. And
I
then
don't
look,
know.
Gotham Knights. When it comes to like stories based on stuff on his universe, he's eliminated because he can't be there because he'll overshadow. And I feel that's what they did on Titans. because if he exists, he'll overshadow all those characters. And the fact that he existed and he had real bad mental problems and he didn't look like himself or felt like himself is what sort of didn't overshadow the characters in the story.
Yeah, I don't know
I
what
felt like
Titans.
they had to dial him back down a sort of bit in order to kind of give light to all the other characters in Titans. That's what it felt like.
It's so
And
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with Batman. Like they don't know what they're doing with Batman. It's so disgusting. It's so stupid. It doesn't make any sense for I get it. It's a different universe, but like just fucking give them the same. I don't know.
I
They have writers. They have stories they can do properly and make it into a live action series. And if you want to
yeah, because Superman and Lois, I felt like it's like it has his misses at times because shows are not supposed every episode can't be perfect,
perfect,
but
yeah.
it's a Superman show I could sit down and watch, and yet there are cringy episodes where I'm like, oh my god, drama between the brothers, drama between the girlfriend, the
Yeah.
family, and
Yeah, yeah.
it was, but I like seeing Tyler Hoechlin as Superman,
Yeah.
even as Clark Kent. And there's this moments where it's like, he's going through stuff, his relationship with Lois Lane and all these things. And it's great. That thing just trumps all the nonsense that are there. The stories are strong. They're not always strong, but they're strong enough to keep going as well written. Now, if they would have touched it would have hit that like they hit Gotham, that would have been great. I feel like from that trailer, it's like they're like these college kids that are just like, "Oh man, dad's dead, and we need to figure out what's going on."
It's like Naomi, bro, because with Naomi in the comics, it was only one. It's her, her parents, and her best friend. I forgot her best friend's name. And in the series, which got canceled, by the way, was a whole bunch of kids that I didn't give a shit about. It's like I don't care about you. Let me
Yeah,
focus on
it's
Naomi. Let
like
me see this cool stuff. Oh, why am I not seeing Superman? Why is there a multiverse? All of it. Well, I mean, I don't mind a multiverse, but like, what are we watching? Like, I'm
yeah,
tired of these
they
kids. We got Riverdale already.
they were
We got.
trying to touch it in a different. It were trying to go a different direction. If they
I'm.
would have included,
I'm so
they would
tired
have
of seeing.
included more. That universe that's there. That
Yeah.
Superman is there. We saw a glimpse of Superman being there. It should have been there just to include him into the series. Be like, oh, they exist in that series. We could have probably seen more viewers like, oh, that's cool. Let's keep watching this because we don't know if he's gonna pop up or we're gonna see more heroes or things like that. But it kept becoming that teenage drama of her trying to figure things out, and she's bringing all her friends to try to figure things out. And I'm like, this is just too much.
And
It's
like,
like you don't need all of these people to know who you are. I can't
and
believe they follow you blindly. Even the ones that don't believe what's going on are following you blindly. And I was like, that's just too much. That's just way too much. I stopped watching it. I don't even remember what episode I stopped watching it on,
I don't remember,
but I
bro.
just didn't
But
feel like
Stargirl
it.
does it differently because it has those characters and those heroes that they it gets passed down, and then it has flashbacks and here and there, and it's a really good story with the villains because the villains really do shine with the heroes and when they fight and when there's conflict and everything. So I do enjoy Stargirl and those types of groups of teenagers that are all different and then somehow like or become a group and help the world. But the kids that don't get powers that are just there and now are going to solve a crime of how Batman died, and it's like you're just taking a piss at the viewers,
Yeah,
really.
I,
And
I felt like it should have been written more. I would have liked to see, you know, Nightwing not be a teenager, be like an adult and he's working at the police station. I think they want to tackle this so it won't feel like it's another Titans TV show,
but it is.
which I understand because I can't see Titans ever be on CW, even if they like remove the profanity or the sexual content, I feel like it would never be there because it doesn't fit that sort of what CW gives out
And
weekly.
and even with the thing with like Titans, it's like they really do know how to build up the story very well, and the acting's not that bad, and the cinematography is pretty good. But then, right when it hits the climax, it's such a bad downhill moment. It kind of reminds me of, remember that episode in Doctor Who, Who, uh, what's her name, Jodie, with Jodie, and the episode when they bring up two gods, and they kind of explore the universe and how this god can created life and overlooked many planets, and this other god, like, they fell in love and they're supposed to be good gods, and then at the end they aren't good gods. I don't know if you remember that episode, but they built the, and I think it was like a two-parter or something like that, or maybe it was a one-parter. But they built, no, it was a two-parter. They built it into like this whole grand thing of like, we're gonna see something else with the Doctor and something like that. And all she does is just pull out her freaking sonic screwdriver, attaches it to the computer, does a little typing, and then boom, saves the day. And I'm just like, that's what happens with Titans a lot. It's like you built up this whole big thing, and then at the end you just take a huge shit on it. Bad CGI, especially at the end, and then the actors just look ridiculous, and it's sad. It's really sad to see that with DC.
Right. Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan.
I know we took a shit on
Obi-Wan.
DC a little bit.
No,
We loved
we
it,
need
but
to yeah, we need to get to Obi-Wan because I feel like it's right now, it's right on the top of the list of things to talk about
all
since
right.
it's it.
You want to start it off? Because I got to take a drink.
Oh man. Uh well, we get to see a sort of let's not go jump because it's already 3 episodes in and it's a lot to take in. But so far we see an Obi-Wan that's a little bit broken and tattered by all the events that took place in Order 66.
Mm-hmm.
We get, he's you know working probably a 9 to 5 job, and he's just pretty much just dealing with life, knowing and but in his situation, he's trying to still get in contact with Qui-Gon Jinn, and he's not getting into it. And I feel like it's because he's not as connected to the Force as he used to be, with everything that has gone on and killing Anakin and losing Qui-Gon Jinn and all the Jedi's being killed, and everything has been destroyed. So he's just pretty much walking around. And in that and in those we get to see a little young, beautiful, adorable Leia, which I have to say she embodies her mother and her father beautifully. And she also embodies the older version of Leia. She was she is perfect. They did a great job to portray this little girl, and she knows how to play the role. Um just I think it was that scene where she is talking to her cousin and she just destroys
Oh my god, it was so good. Yeah.
and I literally rewinded that twice just to hear like her coming in, and I felt like I heard Carrie Fisher
Mm-hmm.
pray that, the older version of Leia, say that. And they did a good job casting this character. They did a good job um having this, not to be a damsel in distress. Like she was smart and she was on point. And you could tell like like they're trying to make her force sensitive. Like she's sensing certain things. Like even when she's running with Obi-Wan, she's sensing certain things, even sensing certain things about Obi-Wan in certain like what's wrong? Is there something going on?
She could
Are
read
you
him.
lying?
Yeah, she could read
You
people
know,
very well.
and we're getting that. So it's like it's really connecting her force sensitivity from the old, like the the last trilogy, which we never seen her. Actually, no, it was in Return of the Jedi where we got to see a little bit of her being more force sensitive when she said, "He's my brother," because she never said that he was the brother.
Mm,
She sensed it because Han Solo got close to her and it was like, "Don't worry about it. He's my brother." And I remember that and be like, and thinking about it now, it's like she was force sensitive. She knew something was going on because she sensed it, you know, that though Luke never told her they were brother and sister and that Vader was the father, she sensed that there was a relationship between him and Luke in that she sent it. So we kind of get a glimpse of her being force sensitive, but not really showing us so much of it. Like they're just like glimpses of it in conversation, which is really cool.
yeah,
And well, we both are gonna talk about that third episode because that episode was lit. I've seen it 4 times, like 3 times already.
really. Oh man, I had to see it twice.
Getting in,
Yeah.
so um, well, the Inquisitors
Wait,
for
wait, wait, wait,
sure.
wait, before we start. And the first episode, right before it hits, that recap, right? That recap of the first three episodes, three movies, was so much better than the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was, and it was good because now I'm expecting Liam Neeson to come in as Qui-Gon Jinn
Yeah.
because
Oh, you
they
don't
put
know?
that in that recap when he says, not what was it that what Yoda told him is saying you're gonna speak to your former master, and it was like, why would you keep that in if you didn't think we were, like
Yeah.
you didn't have to keep that in. You could have easily just let that go. But that became the last thing that was said at the end of that recap. So I feel like, oh, we're going to see Liam Neeson pop up at some point. And I feel like with him being like totally like depressed with everything going on and him like trying to get Leia to Alderaan, I was thinking as soon as Qui-Gon Jinn appears, I think we're gonna get a more better Obi-Wan. We're gonna get him a little bit more stronger and a little bit more
Yeah.
with energy,
You
and
know,
we're not gonna get that sort of like the person that we've been seeing for the past 2 episodes or 3 episodes.
we really got a lot of PTSD with him. Especially with his nightmares and all that stuff. And there was certain scenes. I think there was a scene when he's trying to. I think he was looking at the distance or looking at the sunset or something like that, and the camera is behind him, right? And I just saw Mark Hamill there. It was kind of like when he's trying to get in touch with himself, well, not in touch with himself, but I mean like with the Force. So
Yeah,
I was kind of smart what they were trying to do and hint and all this not flashbacks. What the hell's it called? Oh my god, what is the word? I can't think of the word when it's like in the future. What's it called? You suck.
that's
Anyway, what?
I was like, you're talking to the wrong person right now. Like I'm like trying to think of the word, and I'm like, oh, I'm the wrong person right now. We'll get it.
We'll
It's
get it.
it's night. It's dark outside.
Yeah, it's
It's
like 11.
almost time
It's a
for us
lot.
to get
It is 11. It's almost midnight.
go
Okay.
night night.
Yeah.
Um, so the Inquisitors. Um, I don't think he's dead.
Oh no, he's not dead.
Because
He has two stomachs,
of
and
course.
he appears in Rebels.
Yeah, I was because it was funny because I was talking to somebody at my job about it, and I was like, he's not dead. He can't be dead. And I said, look, Star Wars is notorious for clones. I wouldn't be surprised,
Oh, that's true.
you know.
Uh-huh.
So and this girl, the third sister, though she's getting a lot of racist remarks and comments about her, that even Ewan McGregor even posted a video of her like, leave her alone. Like, come on. She she's scary. I like her character.
He
I
in
I
the
hope
first. Go ahead.
they don't kill her off and they bring her somewhere along the way into the series because she's really good. I enjoy her character.
She's an Oscar. I think she got nominated for an Oscar or something like that.
She, either or,
But
I don't know. It doesn't matter. She was great, and you know,
so I was
I don't
talking
know.
to a buddy of mine, and I was like, "There's something about her that she's hiding. Like she's hiding something." And yeah, it's
You
somebody
know
already
why?
said like in the first episode it was she was one of the younglings in the first episode and the
No, yeah,
first
I was thinking that same too, because why would we get shown that? And
yeah
then when she was looking at the wall, and she started seeing the
yeah.
little thing, I was like,
Oh yeah,
"Hmm."
that's I was like
I
yeah
think she
that
was
theory
probably
goes
a youngling, and that is and I think, what if it was when Obi-Wan went over there and she was one of them that was hiding? What if it was a moment where he couldn't save her or something like that? Like, I
yeah.
felt like there was, like, kinda like Grogu or something like that. What if she knows Grogu? Who knows? But there has to have probably been some moment that she feels like this hatred for him, because
We're
what,
gonna see a scene.
because the Inquisitors are all looking for him, but it seems like she's more on looking for Obi more than she's looking for all the other Jedis that survived. And maybe Vader was maybe Vader actually saved her. And because remember, they were former Jedis
Yeah
that became Inquisitors. What if
yeah.
instead of it being a child that Vader killed, she was a child that Vader saved?
I
Well,
could see that.
who knows? Let's see how it is, because honestly, she got so much respect for Vader, and that she was like, Anakin is still alive and all this stuff, and that really broke my heart, because I got to see Ewan McGregor was like in total shock. It was like almost tear in
It
his
was
eye, like knowing that he was
so
alive.
good at like captivating that moment of him realizing it, even though like the actor already like is so perfect. And then him,
To be honest, I've always loved Ewan McGregor in normal things, Train Spotting, Moulin Rouge, what other movies that he was in? There was
was
that
in
movie he did with Cameron Diaz, his love story. There was Big
Bir-
Fish and all that
Birds and
stuff.
Prey.
And I always loved his characters. He's always portrayed, that emo dealing with certain situations. And the fact that the crazy thing is that when I got to see episode one, he wasn't as big as he was. Then we got to see him in two, and then we got to see him in three. He was getting a little bit much larger. Now, seeing him now, it's like, as this character, I feel like I'm glad that he stayed into the series, because I feel like he's gotten better as an actor, and
Yeah,
he's he's a lot more emotional. There's more sympathy to feel with him and everything. And it's very heartbreaking, like, just to know, like, when he finds out that Anakin is alive, it's like, I don't know if it's a sense of hope in that in him, but then when he was watching him in episode 3, that was just insane. That
but
dude was literally killing children and dragging people by the neck through, and I was like, it was really cool.
it was
We got
so
we got to we got to see the Vader we saw in Rogue One when he
mhm.
walks down that aisle. He's just literally just killing people with the lightsaber. And I think that's sort of what we have to see. We can't have him be like this good guy. We didn't get to see. I
The
didn't feel like he was.
savage. I don't think we
Yeah, we
saw the
didn't get to see this.
savagery of Darth Vader and how he really is. And this is just like at the pinpoint. If we get to
Yeah,
see
because
him,
I don't think it was written with such savagery in episode 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, there
no,
was moments he choked people and things like that, but it was like sort of like it was clean. But that scene in episode 3 when he killed the younglings, that's when it felt like he is really evil. And then it's like we're gonna have to drag this whole episode, this part of episode 3 through and through, because we have to sort of portray that character and make him as evil as he is. Because killing children just is just crazy. And somebody, this was crazy. Somebody posted something which I didn't notice. Somebody posted something in his tomb where he's sitting. In his background, there's a whole bunch of lightsabers in the background that he has of people he killed. And somebody's assumed, and then they had the helmet that the younglings had. I don't know if he's actually kept the lightsabers of all the younglings he killed. Because if that's it, that's it. That just makes him plain bananas. That just
That is so
somebody posted that, and I was like, wait a second, that can't be the freaking younglings' lightsabers that he kept.
right.
Like I killed them.
Yeah, wow, that's so
Oh
fucked. I mean, he did go after some of the Jedis though later on.
yeah. I mean, it's honestly, I would like somebody probably out there did done a video of all the Order 66 moments from every
Yeah.
single series, you know, which is it's crazy that it was a moment in Star Wars history where Jedi's were eliminated and taken down, and
Whole fucking
stormtroopers
genocide,
went
yeah.
the other way,
It's
you
so
know?
sad, and it was pretty sad to see it again. I'm just like, no, and I'm like, are we gonna see Cal Kestis?
And so
I'm
we're
like,
seeing it. We've seen it so many times. It's like the snap. It's
yeah,
become the snap of Martin the MCU, you know?
yeah.
Um,
I mean, I
yeah,
think
well,
I heard
it's
somebody. What? No, somebody edited on YouTube like all the Order 66 scenes and everything, like Bad Batch, Clone Wars.
I'm gonna have to check that out because
Now they
that
gotta now they gotta add this one.
yeah.
But they're probably gonna have to re-edit after we're going to see another flashback of Reva and probably Anakin saving her or something like that. So that'll be interesting.
All right, now, ah, seeing Hayden Christensen back as Vader.
Wait, we got to talk about that scene when he saw him in the robe, and I was just like, "Oh, that's scary." But I tried to see in like at his eyes, see if he has that yellow
Yeah.
evilness that he has. I don't know if I did, but I didn't get a chance to see that.
Sort of like the idea that he's watching him,
Yeah,
you know? Because, like, if it would have been Qui-Gon Jinn, it would have been pretty interesting to see that. Like, he's trying to get in, they're like trying to get in contact with each other, and it's not, and sort of like that was a glimpse of him trying to, or something like that. But it was the fact that he was envisioning Anakin. But this was right after he found out that he's alive, you know?
his character reminds me a lot right now of like Mark Hamill and like how they're so disconnected from. I mean, Luke Skywalker, how they're disconnected from the Force and like the sequels,
Yeah.
and how most likely in the end of the series we're gonna see him start to become closer to the Force once again, become a little more powerful. And maybe we'll see a glimpse of Yoda because Yoda did say, like, I'm gonna start sending you things or a mission or something like that. I don't know, maybe. Maybe he'll
Hmm.
go to that forest that Yoda was in. Forgot what that
Yeah.
forest is, yeah. Or we'll see another temple that he'll go to that, we've seen in the games and has been talked about, even where Grogu was. Um, so yeah, that'll be cool. That'd be great.
Imagine if here's weird. It is a weird thing, a theory. I'm under the influence.
Oh,
So
great.
it's a weird theory. What if Yoda's race is asexual and Grogu's his child?
I don't know.
I mean, it's could be probably we've never seen none of his species before,
Yeah, we did. We
but
see the
we-
we saw
we've
the
seen
saw
their
the girl.
race. Yeah, but we never. I mean, probably in comics and stories and stuff like that, but not
And
in.
They're making a series of all the some of the Sith, like Count Dooku and the Jedi origins. That's coming out soon, and I think there
Hmm.
was one episode. There's going to be an episode of Yoda. I think.
Well, I hope so because it would be interesting to see that if I mean he's I mean I wouldn't be if it wouldn't be surprising if his race is sort of like they're sort of I remember watching what was it, Godzilla and the old that piece of crap when they Americanized it, and it was more lizard and less, how
2003.
we saw
Yeah, yeah,
Godzilla,
yeah.
right? And they found out that he was asexual, so he was able to procreate his own children. He didn't need a male species, or he didn't need a male species. So I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to go that route with the whole being awake and woke situation. They might change that sort of story in making him asexual, and able to he have given birth to Grogu. But who knows? And maybe there was a female, there was a race, and there was children and things like that. So I mean, let's see what they decide. But it's like again, we throughout the entire Star Wars series, we've seen different versions of Chewbacca's race. We've seen what's the name of those creatures in Return of
Ja-
the Jedi? Those little furry things.
Jawas. Oh, Ewans,
The
Econs,
Ewoks. There was different
Ewoks.
types of Ewoks. I'm pretty sure there was female Ewoks and stuff. Everything had a race. There was males and female characters. So but Yoda's race, we never got to see it, even in the span of the entire series.
Right.
This for the very first time we got to see another version of his race
Yeah.
come into pic into in the Mandalorian. So let's see. Even John Favreau, when he brought that character into the Mandalorian, he was like, I don't know, you know, that it was they were gonna buy that or they were gonna, accept the fact that there was this character, like it was like something they were gonna like it was gonna be a challenge to bring up. Which they did a hell of a good job bringing it, I think. Nobody's really giving thought to yeah, he's Yoda's race, but nobody's really giving thought to what they're giving thought to is like where he came from. And let's see what that's gonna happen. But from the looks of it, they said that he was part of the Order 66 at the place, at what was it, the Jedi Temple. So who knows?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm enjoying this series. Episode 3 really got me hooked. Episode
Yeah.
3 really got me hooked.
And we got to see the strength of Darth Vader, and we got to see how I mean, it makes sense to be that strong because again, he's not fully human.
No.
Right now, he has like robotic parts, and we could see how painful it is. Like when
Bro,
that part of his
yes.
thing starts to like go into his chest, and there's like this piercing spikes that bury into his body. I was like, oh God, it must be painful for him to deal with that. And I wouldn't, and that could be at least part of the hatred, the pain that he's dealing with, you know, that makes him angry and that it infuriates him and makes him powerful enough to take on Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
that's yeah. I always thought about that. I'm like, he is in so much pain and agony, and after all this, he still hates the Jedi, and he has this anger towards them, and then the Force, and it just makes him, his I don't know power or whatever, really does amplify it. That pain, and sadness, and
It would have been wearing the red ring, I tell you.
oh yeah, fuck yeah, yeah, yeah.
But no, I'm enjoying every part of that show. I've seen every single episode almost nearly twice or three times. The acting is fantastic from every character in the show, and
I am so glad we're
it's
not in the sands. I
yeah,
mean, well, low key a little bit, but just like I'm so tired of seeing fucking Tatooine, please. Just no more sand for a minute, you know? Just get out of that
Honestly,
for.
the place that Leia was kidnapped, I felt that whole area felt like they just threw people's clothes around. Honestly, I was like, "Why a dinosaur?" That like a bounty hunter. I felt a little off. It's like I felt like
Mm,
they just threw everything. You said they did this because they love Steven Spielberg and they wanted to throw a freaking dinosaur from Jurassic Park or something. Or some of them. I swear one guy had like sort of a leather jacket, and I was like, they must have pulled that out of a rack somewhere. Like some of the characters there weren't felt. And I was like, wait a second, what is he in? He just came into an episode of Breaking Bad. All of a sudden, everybody's doing freaking like some part. He had the goggles
yeah,
and the
yeah,
jacket. It
yeah.
felt like they're doing meth in there, crystal meth in there somewhere. And, so I felt like some of it was felt like oh man, they just that episode like felt like a whole bunch of episodes all at once into one thing.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
they're pretty
it
long, yeah.
but it's well written and I hope they keep up with it, but I hope they make Kenobi be a little bit like. Hopefully, he gets his strength back and he trains and he gets better at it. Like I want to see him. I want him to finally see Qui Gon and
Yeah,
see what
yeah.
Qui Gon says to him. That sort of motivates him to take his part in fighting. Because honestly, we when we get to New Hope and he gets into R2D2 shows him the Princess Leia thing, he automatically is like, we need to get a ship and start heading over there. And thinking about it now, it's like he didn't want to do it. He's like, I'm not that Jedi anymore. I don't want to do this. So
Right.
something between then and New Hope sort of gave him that motivation to go after the Empire again. So I can't wait to see that.
I mean, we also saw that in Rebels with him fighting Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he got to fight him. And I hope this isn't the last time. I hope we get to see them fight again. But I hope when he gets to fight him again, it's more like, I'm not weak anymore. I'm going after you. Like we're fighting. Like I want to see the fight between, like, sort of like that episode, how episode 3 was, Star Wars.
Mm,
That fight at the end, just them going at it. Because I felt that it was there, but he was just weak and he didn't even want to throw down. Like you could
right.
see Vader was like literally like shh, with one hand. He wasn't even holding him with
One
two. He
hand,
was literally,
yeah.
it was like scary to fight.
Yeah,
Just to
yeah,
see him fight.
yeah. Can't wait for that. That's gonna be good.
Ugh,
I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what they have in store for us. That's what I'll say. Because I know they have a lot more in store. I mean, this was just like the the step further, of
yeah.
Obi-Wan and really going through his mind and then showing us, not only his PTSD side, but also him
One
losing
second.
faith in the
We need
Force
to
and the Star and Jedi and all that stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that June 8th is should be Miss Marvel, I believe. So that'll be
Mm-hmm.
another show we need to be talking about. And I don't know if you want to talk about it again, but I think the 22nd with Doctor Strange is coming on Disney Plus.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's very soon, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's coming on Disney Plus on this June.
But it didn't. Spider-Man didn't come in Disney Plus, right?
Yeah, but even the other Spider-Mans haven't come in yet. Netflix has the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure they spoke about that all of Sony's stuff was going to appear at some point in Disney Plus with Venom and everything that's connected to the the Spider-Man universe. But nothing has popped up yet.
Did you see Jared Leto posted a video about him having?
Corbin time.
Oh my god, it's so cringe. It's so cringe,
Uh,
bro.
I have to see it just because it's part of my geekdom to sit down and watch that.
For the love
It's
of
at least it's
God.
not as cringe-worthy as, any of the Venoms.
Listen, man. No, I no, it's a little bit worse. Again, I think Venom 2 was a little bit better than Venom 1. I finally saw it. I think I told you about it.
Yeah.
It was a little more quicker, but it actually got to like, the fighting and all that. Venom 1 was just a little more let's take our time with the story and stuff like that. I'm just like so much downtime. Let's just hurry it up.
The thing is, I don't feel like he should have had a love interest at all.
No, me
Like, it
neither.
should have been, and then the fact that her abilities like, can kill his symbiote, and having and that symbiote could literally, like, smack her in the face and be like, "Stop screaming,"
Yeah,
and then being in a body of the person that's like, "No, don't kill her," and it's like, it feels like there's too much there.
yeah,
Like, they should have tackled it like they did in the comic. Yeah, she screamed. Fine. He's not near, he's not always around, and he's always with her, and they're both, like, doing a whole bunch of criminal activity. Like, that should have been the thing. That, should have been the challenge of him battling each other.
yeah,
But the fact that because both of them couldn't really stand each other because they couldn't be close is what made it easy for Venom to be Carnage. And then Carnage was a little bit much bigger than Venom was. There's a point when he's going on the top of the building and he's hovering. It's like Carnage shouldn't be that big. Venom is like at least if Venom in size,
twice the
if it was like
size.
would be like 5'11" in size, that he trumps to fight Hulk. Carnage is at least 5'8", giving him 5'9".
No,
He's
I
not that.
think I think I think Carnage would probably be like 6'2", and Venom would be like 6'8", maybe 6'9", that
But in
tall.
size, I think Venom is much taller than Carnage, that's
Yeah, yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, I felt like how he was able to
Yeah, they were
reach
small.
that. Yeah, but,
Well,
you
maybe
know,
taller. I don't know. They're
it
probably like
is it
seven
is what
feet.
it is and how they wrote the story. I did like the effects. I did like Woody Harrelson portraying the role, but I didn't feel like he needed a love interest in there. We didn't need Shriek to come out of if anything. Like, that
Yeah,
should
if
have been
you
obvious.
if your thing is about love, man, this Morbius movie, man, I don't know. That shit felt so forced because I was like, bro, it felt like colleagues, like just work friends. All of a sudden they kiss, and I'm just like, when the fuck did that happen? Like, what
Yeah,
did I
I
miss?
really I haven't seen it yet, but at some point I'll get to it. But the idea that I guess they would want to drag that whole Sinister Six,
Ugh,
movie out,
yeah, I
and
don't know what
that's
they're trying to
what
do. I
they'll
don't know
probably
what
do.
Sony's doing, man. Sony, man, what are you doing, bro? I don't know. You'll see. And it came back in theaters, and it only made like 18 grand or no, 85 grand back.
The funny thing is that Eternals is the most lowest of MCU movies made, and
Really?
it's reached almost like, yeah, Eternals was the most. It didn't make as much money as all the other MCUs. That's the low. Eternals is the lowest,
What's funny is that
and
it looks like it might get a sequel, but it also doesn't. Like they ended up as an
well,
open.
I mean, the end of the day, it might. I wouldn't be surprised if it does get a sequel, um, because it did make its money, uh, and the thing, and Mobius is getting its money. So if it reached the same amount as Mobius did, and Mobius is getting a sequel, Eternals is getting a sequel. But I think knowing Kevin Feige, he might probably tackled it a different way and said, "Look, we need to get this money. We're gonna have to tackle this a different way in
Yeah.
order to get that." And also, what was I? At some point, we didn't. Eternals was supposed to appear in Moon Knight.
Really?
Not only that, um, Gore the God Butcher was supposed to be mentioned in Moon Knight, before and after. Writers, but they never got to mention it. According to the writer, they said, "Look, we didn't know when we was going to come in because of the COVID. We didn't know when we were going to premiere. If it was before
Mm,
Thor or after Thor, we didn't know what was going to go on. So we, in the early scripts, we were going to mention Gore the God Butcher, which makes sense because it's all about the gods, Anubis, and all this stuff.
right, right, right.
There was going to be some mention of it. They said before and after Gore takes, so it would have made sense, but I've noticed lately that they have been sort of eliminating a lot of things. Like the appearance of Daredevil was supposed to be in Hawkeye. What was it? On WandaVision's Doctor Strange was supposed to appear at the end at some point. Um, Eternals at some point was supposed to meet and appear in Moon Knight. There was scripts of Gore being in Moon Knight. So it's like a lot of stuff is being removed in each of the things. But right now, the talks, we're gonna get Daredevil, and there's talks about that. And they also said that Christian Ritter and Jessica Jones' character, there's some talk about her coming back to the MCU. As
There's a
for the
theory.
MCU,
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know.
know. The theory goes for Daredevil is that he got blipped, so that's why Wilson Fisk didn't get blipped, but somehow was able to get out of the NYPD prison or something, and so he started to create that organized crime in what we see in Hawkeye and well, I forgot their names, the red jumpsuit guys, the
Yeah.
tracksuit mafia, and so that's how
Yeah.
it comes to play. But Daredevil was blipped. So
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I would like to see that happen and just to have Kingpin in the prison cell, like a nice prison cell, because of course he has all this money. He's probably has like this beautiful, things are made out of crystals and diamonds, probably. And just things being poof and all that stuff. And he just walks right out like, I got this. I'm controlling the city. Um, I would I would like to see if it would have been really cool to see Kingpin come into the city and the blip happens and him trying to control New York City, like being like the, like how Harvey Dent is, the White Knight, to like protect them and all this stuff, like how Devil's Reign is, and be a little bit more like, this is how we should do things. I'm sorry for the loss of all the people. We need to get the city back together and sort
yeah,
of become that White Knight again. Because he needs to like, so it would be cool to see that. And then when they appear again, he just goes like bananas about it. Like he's just like
that
Daredevil
would.
comes up, all that stuff.
I think Daredevil should tackle again Bullseye, or if anything, some other
Yeah,
criminal to
because I would like to see that guy come back as Bullseye, but definitely get his
get his
suit.
suit. Yeah, definitely get his
Yeah.
suit.
Um, bring this girl to play Elektra again if possible. I don't know if Michael Coulter will be coming back as Luke Cage, but he wasn't as bad as Iron Fist. That dude was annoying. But yeah, I think he has a show right now, so I don't know if he's able. And even Mike Coulter has a show as well.
Oh, really?
Um,
What show?
Michael Coulter has in a show called Evil
Oh, I
that has
think I heard
been
of
on.
that.
Yeah, so I don't know. But you know how Marvel is about, picking shows and like you're with us and things like that. So I don't know. And Christian Ritter hasn't really posted anything about other shows that she's in. So I wouldn't be surprised if
I saw a
that's
movie in her with her. She played an assistant. What movie was this? I saw it with my girl. Hold up. It was with. Hold up. I got this. I got this. Who was the main guy? No, I don't remember actually. Oh, it was with Mark Ruffalo. Was it with Mark Ruffalo? He played the love interest, I believe, in the movie. I gotta remember the name, but I saw it on Netflix. she was funny because she was very quirky and she got a wedding, and I'm just like, you're very quirky, and that's not how I remember you from Jessica Jones. Totally different.
There was a show that she had that was pretty funny, but it got canceled. It was called the I think it was the bee from apartment something. And it was literally a bee because they didn't want to say the entire word. So it was like the bee in apartment. It was like a comedy and stuff like that. And it was so funny because she played
Mm,
a character that like did things that were just like that would mess people's lives up. But
mhm.
the thing is that the way she did it was in a way that it was to help them. And it was like a very, it was only a few episodes and it was pretty funny. Actually, it was cool. And James Vanderpeek from Dawson's Creek was actually playing James Vanderpeek, the actor,
Oh
in
wow,
the show. And he was funny.
that's cool.
But yeah, uh, so many shows, man. And Miss Marvel, Doctor Strange is coming back, and uh
She-Hulk coming in August.
oh yes, I can't wait for She-Hulk. I mean, there's a lot of yeah, we never spoke about that trailer. There's a lot of complaints about the CGI.
It's fine. It's gonna
And
get fixed with trailers. It was just a trailer
no,
thing.
yeah, I can guarantee. Yeah, it'll probably get fixed because then they'll probably hear about it and feel like, oh, we could fix this, whatever. But the fact that they got Tatiana Maslany to play She-Hulk and her acting is ridiculously good. If you've seen Orphan Black, it wouldn't even matter. The CGI wouldn't even matter. But her portrayal in Orphan Black was ridiculous because she had to in that show. She was her character was her characters were there was clones of her. So she had to portray very different voice acting, like voices, and very different characters with different personalities. So it was crazy that she was able to, at some point in the show, when she had to have all those characters be in the same room together, she had to jump from character to character to character.
Mm,
And her acting was phenomenal. So if she was able to portray that, what would it matter if the CGI matters about how she portrays She-Hulk? She's very good. She's very good. So if you ever get the chance to see Orphan Black, it starts off pretty slow, but once you get to see all the characters that she portrays, she's she's absolutely genius.
got you.
So you will, watching She-Hulk, you will be like, they picked the right person for the role. I even thought they picked the right person for the role. But then I was thinking, like, I know how She-Hulk looks. She looks nothing like She-Hulk. But again, the CGI effects, the way they did Mark Ruffalo and all that stuff, it shouldn't matter.
Daredevil's supposed to be rumored to be in that show.
Yeah, they said there was rumors of Daredevil, which that's possible, but they also said Jessica Jones, which it's funny because the news of her being coming back is it's like just came recently. So if she pops up in She-Hulk, it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, the city of New York City and the city of the Big Apple. Yeah, and then I
Yeah.
mean, I know Matt knows She Hulk very well. I think they dated or something. Did they date? I think they
I think
did.
that if they bring her, I think they're gonna bring her as
As a
Jennifer Walters
yeah, yeah,
before
yeah,
before She-Hulk meets thing. I think it will be a Jennifer Walters situation.
yeah. I could see
Uh,
that.
and then they're gonna bring I think what is it, Frogman? I forgot his name.
Oh yeah, they
He's in
have
it.
Frogman.
And what is it? The what's the name of that crew? It's a bunch of supervillains who they have like lead pipes and chains and stuff. They were called something crew, and everybody was talking about it. They show it in the trailer for like a quick glimpse. It's like a group of them with like lead pipes and like chains and like crowbars. Ah, now I need to know. Uh, Google crew something.
I
Marvel
don't know,
crew.
but
Crew.
anyways, I think that we should end it here. It's an hour and 30, and you know, you could take your time.
Very well.
What?
America needs to know what I'm looking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to know.
What is it? No,
The
no, no,
world
no,
needs
no,
to
no.
know.
The
The
Wrecking
world,
Crew.
the wrecking crew. Okay.
Yeah, they're all a bunch of people that just. But and I think because they look kind of like just regular human beings there. I at some point I think they ended up getting gamma radiation and they're just being some big brolic dudes with freaking lead pipes and just like beating them. They were like with crowbars and stuff. They weren't even having like regular like it was just like regular tool weapons fighting and stuff like that. But
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think the show might go into Agents of Smash. You know.
Well, actually, there was talk about Secret Wars because Titania's there. She's a major
Oh.
player, and I think she's I don't know about her being major, but she's a player in the Secret Wars. And with Secret Wars coming in, I wouldn't be surprised to see She-Hulk, and Incredible Hulk, and Moon Knight, and all these characters pop up in Secret Wars. So I don't know. I think all of these shows are leading up to that. So we
Yeah,
get to
yeah,
see
yeah.
at some point we're gonna get to see them again.
We're definitely gonna see them again in that, but interesting. I was thinking no, but I don't know. I was thinking they were gonna do something with Agents of Smash, and since
We'll see,
Thunderbolt isn't
because
there,
it's
like they could get somebody else for like Red Hulk.
yeah, because the guy died, man. That
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah,
It's kind of sad when you're like watching these movies and then it's like these characters that were portrayed in the MCU were like, oh man, it sucks because they could have brought that character in and
the actor.
um
Yeah.
and it's sad. But what on somebody else.
Abomination.
Abomination, yeah. I I hope is they stick with him being a bad guy.
Well,
But
I don't know because in the movie, I forgot what movie it was. Oh, Shang Chi. He was with Wong, so maybe he's doing secret missions for him now.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But then again, we have this woman coming and recruiting, and she recruited U.S. agent in Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
And I don't know if she recruited Yelena because at the end of the day, Yelena kind of redeemed herself in Hawkeye and decided not to hunt him down anymore.
yeah.
But are we gonna still get that Dark Avengers or that sort of Avengers out there or whatever? Because it would be cool to see if they decide to do an Avengers West Coast.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Have a different type of Avengers come into the picture. But
That'd
there
be cool.
were because I know US Agent was a Avengers West Coast. Vision was an Avengers West Coast, and Vision is still around
Where the fuck is
s-
he? I don't know.
wherever he is. Yeah, I don't know, but he'll eventually he'll probably appear. But I I don't know how he's going to react when he realizes what happened to if the memories that he starts to get will he end up getting the memories that he had experienced with Scarlet Witch? And then when he
Mm,
comes back to her, there's no Scarlet Witch because she's dead
I don't
or
think she's dead. She
dead,
can't die. She's not dead.
dead or dead.
Dead.
You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Should be back, just like
so
White Vision. They all come back. Anyways, for that, for now we should end it. Thank you for so much for joining us. Tell your friends about us. We're nice people, and we talk about comics all the time. We talk about movies and series. Find us on Stitcher, iTunes podcast, Spotify as Geek Mythos Podcast, and on YouTube as Geek Mythos. TikTok and Geek Mythos and at Geek Mythos, sorry, and Twitter as Mythos underscore Geek. Even though we don't really use it, we started using more of Instagram, which is Geek Mythos Pod now. Again, somebody else has Geek Mythos as their thing, but they haven't used it, so I don't know how long it takes for them to not use it that we can start taking it. Because I mean, it's
don't
been
confuse our fans.
2 years.
The little bit that we
Anyways,
have.
Yeah, we're more of a. We're always upgrading our stuff and our videos on YouTube, which aren't doing too bad. So we'll see. We'll see. It takes time for everything to grow. So does this channel. So does everything else. So yeah. With that being said, have a good night or good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Have a good one, guys.
Later, Geek Up.
See you in the next one. Bye.